28 degrees. Big frost this morning. Need to open the gate. Got a customer coming. If any tough grass was living, it's dead now. It will not tolerate a frost. So I thought I'd do a late October hay update, and we got a big frost this morning, and the Massey Ferguson 1105 here set out last night. It's got frost on the windshield, and got a hay customer coming to pick up some hay here in a little bit, and just thought I'd walk around, do a little chit chat about what's going on here at the end of October going into November. All of our horse quality hay is in. However, we have a lot of gleaner hay to cut. So we got to go around and cut some of this stuff. You can see a big frost out there. I think today's the first day of muzzle loading season in our area, so the hunters will be out in force. I never took a second cut on this bottom field down here. I just couldn't get to it with the rain. But we're going to cut it, and we're actually going to cut it today. We're going to be mowing a lot of hay today and maybe tomorrow. I'll have to evaluate this, whether or not it's horse quality, once we get it cut and baled. But we have a lot of gleaner hay, and we have a lot of gleaner hay over the hill back there we want to try to cut. So this hay update will kind of be an all-day thing as far as taking videos. I'll just take some clips and make up a hay update video, but we're going to try to wrap up the haying season today and through next weekend. Favorable temperatures are coming, lots of wind, and I want to put this hay season in the books. I got a customer leaving out with a load of hay, and it's warmed up considerably from earlier this morning. And he kind of cleaned out a little bit of a spot right in here. So temperatures are cooling down, and we got some frost. Hopefully our hay sales will pick up a little bit. Got another hay customer coming, so I got to open this gate again. This is to the road, makes it easy to get into our barn. Customers heading out. They didn't buy a whole lot of hay, but they're buying second cut. Our second cut hay is I don't really get into pricing on our channel. It's our channel's really a vlog, a video blog, so we don't use it to sell hay, but we have a premium price on this second cutting, and even when they get small amounts, it's worthwhile to come out here and load them up. In my last video, I talked about moving hay out of this part and stacking it up over there, and it's really came in handy because the perimeter here where I pulled the hay out and stacked over here, those bottom bales, you know, I had the trucks just back right up here, so when we put the tailgates down, it's almost like a loading dock. You just real easy to set the hay, you know, up on the truck. But Everybody notices how green that hay is, but even this first cutting here and first cutting over there, it's just as green. It's just that when the sun hits it, you know, it looks kind of brown, kind of fades it a little bit. But you can see, you know, where I pulled a bale out, it's a little bit green in here. But it's, without a doubt, you know, the underside of the bale, and more importantly, the inside of the bale is nice and green. So you can see. A couple of things about our hay pricing and customers. We have some really good horse hay customers, and but we have a handful of buyers or potential buyers that are real flakes, and sometimes you know, I'll tell them what the price is, the not so great customer, and we're not the highest price and we're not the lowest price, and but they'll say it ain't worth it. That hay, I'll give them a price and they'll say it's not worth that. And they talk to me like I'm a crook. And then, a few weeks later, a month later, some of these people I know, I personally know. And I'll be at Tractor Supply on a Saturday night or a Sunday afternoon. And they're rolling out of there with 2 or 3 of these compressed hay bales that are in a black plastic bag, about 40 pounds, 45 pounds, and they're paying $20 for a 45-pound bale of hay. Compressed or not, it's 45 pounds. And I don't see them giving the cashier an earful, but they'll tell me it ain't worth it. So, as far as I'm concerned, you know, buy your hay at Tractor Supply. Save your money. Save your money and buy that $20 a bale stuff that when you open that plastic bag, it may or may not be dusty. All right, I need to hook a tractor up and cut a little hay next. I really would like to cut this for a 3rd time. I think there's enough grass in here. I don't think, I know it is, that if I cut it, I could probably get a 3rd cutting out of it. But I really need a wheel rake to gather this stuff up. So we're kind of in the hunt for one, maybe for next year, something used. After with a wheel rake is not so much that I don't want to put my tines on either my roller bar rake or the Vermeer down close to the ground or on it. It's really what I'm after is raking width. I want to be able to get everything up and not continuously have to roll the windrow over. I want it just to, I want the overall width, you know, an 18 or 20 foot rake, and that I can get a decent windrow in one pass. And if I got to do a second pass, I can manipulate a wheel rake to pull multiple rows together. And so just try to speed things up a little bit. If the grass is thin, there's no point in making a bazillion trips across it, trying to roll the windrows over, and in doing so, losing a lot of the short grass in the stubble. One of the wheel rakes that has my attention is the ones that Vermeer makes, and what's interesting about them is the kicker wheel that you can get, which I would want, is at the front of the rake, not at the back. So sometimes those kicker wheels on a wheel rake at the very back, that kind of the purpose of that kicker wheel, for those that don't know, it moves the hay off the center. So instead of piling hay from one side or the other onto a 20 or 30 inch width that hasn't been turned, it does get the hay turned and off the ground. And some of those kicker wheels are at the rear of the rake where everything's gathering into, and so sometimes you can get a big bottleneck, and that kicker wheel can serve as like almost like a gate, and things jam up. But if you have it in the front of the rake, I'm to understand that typically that's not a problem. By the way, that's an old Gravely 2-wheel tractor, 8 horsepower. It's on our list of projects to do one of these years. One-man funnels attached. That's a video for another day. Got plenty of fuel. The 1105 is right thrifty on diesel. One thing I like about this tractor is you can fuel it, service the batteries, everything but the radiator. You can get to from the ground. So the next question is, as cold as it's been, will this tractor start? By the way, nice clean floor. You won't see a bunch of cat litter in the floor on this video. Let's see here. I might give it just a little bit of gas. Fingers crossed. Old equipment. Unbelievable. I hooked the Massey to the Krone, and because I don't have a telescoping lift arms here, and I don't have a quick hitch, what I do is I try to pull these lift arms up against the block like that. And that way when I back up to the implement, it's normal for that thing to turn. I'm going to cut it off. It's a PTO shaft. On a Massey Ferguson 1100, 1105, 1135, 1130, 1155, 1150. The PTO will turn. There's no real power to it. When you hook a shaft up to it, it won't. But you can lock it out right here. And so, well, like I say, what I'm doing is I'm taking these lift arms and putting them up against the sway blocks, and then when I back up to the Krone, I just center these underneath the pins, and then I get really close, and I can hook it up, knock on wood, fairly easy. I got the Krone hooked up, got the PTO hooked up. Need to pull this out. So when I hit the PTO lever inside, it'll engage down here. You turn it off so it just stops that slow spin, so you can hook that up. But once you turn it on, you can see it doesn't spin. It's just the nature of these tractors. And I think we're ready to cut a little hay. It's getting late in the day. And we're going after our bottom field down there, and then maybe a little bit of gleaner hay right in here and up on the other side of that barn. We're ready to go. Hopefully nothing falls off that I forgot about. Foot control on the throttle. Standard equipment on a Massey 1105 even the 1100 series, and it's right in the middle, so you can use it with your left foot or your right foot. I need the air conditioner today, or the heat. It's about 50 degrees outside. Not going to need this old long sleeve shirt either. There it goes. I'm going to let it down. I've got to let this down. I've got the height preset on my 3-point. Bring on the PTO. And I'll just let it run like that for a minute or so, kind of get everything moving around inside the Krone. Actually cut down a little too deep in there. I need to come back up on the, you can see there's a little, almost like a berm right here, like a little ledge. I always want to stay on this side of it. Seems like it's cutting pretty good. You know, some places are going to be thicker than others. What I'm going to do right here is I'm going to switch to first gear, high range, and I'll go back and forth with multi-power low and high, and we'll knock this thing out pretty quick. This is actually second cutting hay, and you know, this is a pretty good field, but it looks kind of trashy right now. There's more foxtail than I thought there would be, so this will not be going out as horse hay. And on the other side, there's some leaves from the trees that are going to be in the hay, but it is what it is. And you know, we use this to glean a little bit of revenue, buy some diesel, maybe go out to eat. But we'll make enough money on it to go out and eat several times. That's what we choose to do. In this small field, I'll use the multi-power a lot. So, you know, as I come into some of these bumpier parts, I just slow it down a little bit and get back here where I'm cutting. Probably not as thick in here as my other fields I've cut for second cutting, but that was because we were late cutting this field in the first place compared to the others. A multi-power low is nice, you know, as I come into these bumpier parts of the field and I have to make these turns. Which makes it a little more manageable. And then once I get into the straight, pick it up. And so we're going about 7 miles an hour right now. A little bit of moisture on the ground. My tires are picking it up, but you know, to walk in this grass, really not getting your toes of your boots wet. Not sure my sickle mower would like this too well. Tomorrow we're going to continue to cut, and we may drag out my Heston. Certainly I want to get the sickle mower on either my John Deere or my Model 50 Massey Ferguson, and that's when we'll really do some trimming. But I think the wind's supposed to really pick up tomorrow, and Monday it's going to be really gusty, and might try to bale some of this on Tuesday. I got the day off, but I got some other fish to fry. Slow down here for this turn. I got some other fish to fry, and if I have time, we might attempt to bale some of this if it's dry enough. And with the sunshine they're calling for and the wind, in spite of the cooler temps, we might have some pretty good drying. So the plan is, if we can bail on Tuesday, that'll be great. This is a Saturday, October the 31st. And so if we can bail, it's great. If we can't, we're going to come in here the following Saturday. This hay will be out here for 7 days. And we won't be tanning this hay very much at all. I used to tad hay, and I tad it every day, twice a day, and then what would happen is, next night the dew would be heavy and it might as well have rained on it. Then we'd lose a fair amount of the short hay into the stubble. And then we find our hay all bleached from being in the sun. And we're finding that with our Vermeer, it kind of tads as it breaks, fluffs it out. So, you know, we get in the field early enough, reasonably early enough, and break it up. It's been tedded and raked in the same tank, so that's been a really good aspect of that dead or rake. The one thing I'll say that I don't like about it, that's the Vermeer TR90, or what it really is a Lely Lotus 300 Combine in Vermeer colors. But what I don't like about the rake is you know, it's hard to combine windrows. So, when you got a thin cut like this, it makes it kind of difficult. Coming along pretty good. Not going to be a lot of hay in here, but you know, we got something for our efforts. One of the things I want to do is these trees in here in this field, I'd like to take them out. It's one of the things I need to ponder. kind of mowing around them, and be a disaster if I hooked that drone on the side or in the middle of one of those trees and not paying attention, making a video or something stupid. See, kind of got to weave in between these trees. This big stump down there. I need to do something with regards to this field. I'm late cutting today. I wanted to cut much earlier, but I had one hay customer that I expected, and then out of the blue, a second one wanted to come, so that's okay. And you know, this is like I said before, this is the 31st of October, and you know, election day is next week, and so we had one early voting spot in the county that they closed down. They moved it to another location because I guess somebody tested positive for COVID that either worked there or came in. I guess they came in contact with somebody, and anyway, so they moved it. So I had planned on voting on election day, and I'm off from work that day anyway. But I got to thinking, you know, it'd be my luck if I went to vote. They'd shut, you know, the precinct down because of COVID, and so I just decided to go ahead and vote today. And I was surprised, you know, we're just kind of out here in the sticks, and but there was a line of people waiting to vote today, and they weren't moving them through too fast either. So that delayed me a fair amount. But nonetheless, I'm in here and I'm cutting the hay. That's all that really matters. We'll be done with this field here shortly. It's got that center section down there to do. I'm not in no big hurry either. We're getting down, you know, we're kind of getting down to the last tractor rides for the year, and as much work, you know, as much work as this haying is, especially square bales, I enjoy what I do, and I enjoy, you know, being in the tractor. So we got plenty of time to sit at home and watch TV or catch up on videos, and I got a lot of videos I need to catch up on. But feel like if I can make some hay, I ought to do it. So here we are. So while I'm cutting hay, I wanted to mention in my hay update that even though I'm cutting hay and adding to my inventory, there's a lot of hay all across our region. I know other places have suffered, but within 100 miles of this farm, there's a ton of hay out there. We just had a lot of rain, and a lot of square bales, and in many ways we have a glut. We've got a glut of hay, and the issue with that, this farm is, you know, not counting this hay, because this is not very good hay. You know, the normal hay is just like really good hay. And so we work hard to manage it and keep it weed free. So, you know, we're not selling our square bales at the same price as a lot of the other trash. up and down the road. And so I'm gonna move to another section of the field. This field down here is essentially done. And I'm gonna move up to a little spot up there and cut it, but there is a lot of hay, and you know, it's unusual for us to get 2 cuttings, but we did this year, and our hay sales have been somewhat slow in the past month, which typically they are, because you know, August, September, you get into September, you know, maybe a few people might start to buy, but because there's hay out there that's priced lower than ours, you know, people are shopping around. And it's funny because there's in Virginia, there's a Facebook page, you know, hay and equipment for sale and trade. A lot of horse people are on that thing. And, you know, I talk about the handful of hay customers a little bit out in left field. And last year there was a shortage, and obviously prices went up. Just like this year, prices have gone down. And we kind of set our price and we stick to it all year. So, you know, there's been a few times where we've taken the hay price up a little bit, but I don't feel that our prices are gouging anybody. And so, but on that hay for sale and trade page, there were some angry horse owners upset about the price of hay being listed on that Facebook page. And you know, they call them the hay buyers crooks, and they throwing out that it ain't worth that much, and you know, it can't cost that much to bale hay, and yada yada yada. And you know, people would challenge that, and you know, the hay producers, some of the hay producers challenge some of those posts, rightfully so. And you know, people would come back and they say, I've baled hay before, I know how much it costs, and yada yada yada. And they don't have a clue. They don't have a clue of the expense of hay and the labor. And, you know, we don't have any payroll on this farm yet, but you know, they don't take into consideration, you know, the maintenance of the tractor and equipment, consumables, and they would go and rant. Some of it was pretty bad, and but oddly enough, here at a time when there's a glut of hay, in my opinion, I haven't seen any of the hay producers, none of the hay producers griping that the horse owners, these horse owners, are driving the price down because of the hay glut, shopping the things around. And you know, and due to low prices, potentially losing their shirt, the hay producers. And I haven't heard any of them complain. But I guarantee you, the next time there's a hay shortage, and prices for a square bale of hay, you know, go north of $8 a bale or more. In Northern Virginia, it wasn't uncommon last year to see a bale of hay $14 a bale for a square bale of hay. of it was imported in, a lot of it was, you know, trashy hay. People would buy the stuff, and then somebody that they brought it in and resold it out of a tractor trailer. They never seen it or touched it. And you know, next time there's a hay shortage, you can bet your bottom dollar that these same people that are shopping around the low price and leaving their hay supply high and dry, they'll be complaining again. Now, I don't have much to say on those Facebook pages other than occasionally I'll say we got hay. Next time people are complaining about the price of hay being too high, I'm probably going to ask, you know, where were you at? How come you weren't complaining that the price of hay was too low? Now, we don't make a whole lot of hay here, you know, compared to some of these guys. You know, people making 10, 20,000 square bales of hay. It really hurts them when the price goes down, because they got to believe that in order to have the equipment necessary to make that kind of hay volume, and they either own the land outright or lease it, that the overhead is pretty stiff. You know, so when they got to cut their hay price in order to move out that volume of hay, I'm sure it affects their bottom line. But you know, we're a debt-free farm, and we own the land outright. Even our barn is paid for. It was paid for the day it was the last nail went in. We're very, very fortunate in that regard. And but these guys with a lot of overhead, you know, they probably are hurting right now. And I thought to myself last year when there was a shortage and the hay prices were so high, I was thinking this is no time to go out, you know, and borrow money and load up on hay equipment. It might be a good time. You might be making enough money to pay for stuff outright, but maybe you're not making enough money to do anything other than make a big down payment. And so we try to be pretty careful with our pennies up here. It doesn't take much to pencil us into the red. But when it comes to you know, revenue, we have a day job. I have a day job. Very lucky, you know, that I've got a day job, and but we don't depend on this farm for hay income, for day-to-day expense income, even though sometimes we use it for that. But we try to make a living off what we make in our day jobs, and whatever extra we make up here, you know, it's just icing on the cake. We keep the farm from growing up. We make enough money and then some to pay the taxes, pay for the equipment, and sometimes there's some advantages to being small. We're not like, I mean, we're a small farm, but obviously you're looking at a Krone mower that I bought new. But we get enough revenue off this place, so we don't have to have necessarily equipment that is forever breaking down. You know, we decided early on to invest in some, you know, decent equipment to the extent we can. I mean, I'm sitting in a tractor that's 40-some years old, but it wasn't a project when I bought it. We didn't have to drop it off at a
you know, and a mechanic to have it fixed the day we bought it. And a lot of tractors I looked at, not only were they projects, people wanted a big price for them, but they also required the driver that was going to haul them in, you know, don't bring them to this location, stop, and there's a mechanic that'll need to go through the tractor and, you know, I don't know, if it's an international, replace the T-day, maybe rebuild the engine or injector. Right, so my SD card filled up right there while I was talking. And unlike my day job, I do what I want to up here, and I stopped everything. I'll get another SD card because I'm not through talking. Also changed out the batteries. You might be able to see the Massey straight up there. And sun's going down. I'm gonna finish that little spot and we'll kind of call it a day. Down through here, and this right in here might get cut tomorrow. I certainly will try to move over the hill. So right in here is what we're cutting. You know, it's not great, but it'll sell. Try not to grind the gears. Bring your PTO on. And we'll finish up this field. I guess the bottom line is on you know, farm expenses and haying and equipment is there's no limit to how much you can spend. You know, there's a lot of guys out there running, you know, $100,000 plus tractors, and they're making square bales of hay. But you know, there's a lot of people out there running basically an old Massey 135 with an old hay bind, no New Holland hay bind, roller bar rake. You know, they're cranking out the same product, but the difference in the price to play is substantial. Kind of look at our equipment, no more hay that we make is 2 lifetime equipments. This Krone ought to outlast me, and if my boys are making hay, or my daughter, when they're my age, they might be looking at another machine, but I think the trade-off between reliability and longevity and dependability, I don't mind buying a mower conditioner like this. I'm a little spooked with some of the newer tractors with the emissions and electronics and computers. But on the other hand, I also understand if you're buying new, that's all there is to buy, well, that's what you get. The thing about it is, cars and emissions have been part of the landscape for a long time. I'm not sure that all the emission stuff is necessarily plowing new ground just because it's on the tractor. But certainly, I think there's some bugs. You read about people having issues with different parts of the emission system, computers and things like that. I think at some point, if it's not already worked out, it will be, but I feel pretty good that I'd feel pretty bad if my Massey Ferguson right here, this 1105 went down, but I'd feel pretty good knowing that when we're troubleshooting it, that the computer's not the issue because there's not one in it. Alright, I'm going to stop talking here and make one more round with the camera on, and I'm going to finish up this little spot and kind of come back and wrap up the video. So that's the video, and we got this little patch right in here cut, and then way down on the other side of this green field, that low field down there, we got that cut, and had a pretty good day of it. You've made it to the end. I appreciate you watching. One thing about this YouTube channel is, you know, we're not too serious about making money with it. And when I say that, if you noticed, if you've watched this video all the way through, and this is going to be one of our longer videos, if you watched it all the way through, you probably noticed that there's no commercials. We do not show commercials, at least right now. We don't have any plans to change, but we do not show commercials in the middle of our videos. I know YouTube not too long ago was going to automatically make all videos have commercials in the middle of them. And honestly, some of these YouTube channels I watch, you almost have to turn them off. There's so many commercials. I never thought it would be possible there would be more commercials on a YouTube channel in 20 minutes or 30 minutes than there are on a network sitcom at 8 o'clock at night. And so, typically you'll see an ad when our video first starts, and there's one at the end, and we don't put them in the middle. And the primary purpose of this channel is number one, for my family to see and kind of keep up. Some of them are far-flung, and to kind of see what's going on here on the farm. And the second is my friends. They like to watch these videos, some of them, and we don't really want to be interrupting the experience with commercials in the middle of it. And then everybody else, you folks that are watching these videos and subscribing to them, I'm not really interested in bombarding you with a bunch of commercials in the middle of the video, at least not right now. So if you stayed to the end, this is one of our longer videos. I appreciate that, and just know that I'm thinking about you guys too, because I don't want you bombarded with a bunch of commercials too. So that kind of concludes the video. We'll be back here tomorrow cutting more hay, I hope. And the videos, we've got second cutting videos from this field and the other field over here. And I've still got a pile of videos to put up, but because this is a hay update video, I thought I'd go ahead and include cutting hay and whatever chit chat I wanted to make while I was doing it. And so again, if you made it to the end, I appreciate it. Feel free to comment, hit the like button. Krone 2801cv with impeller tines, 3-point hitch on the lower hitch on the lower lift arms. Sometimes I can't talk. With a swivel gear head, makes for some tight turns. The Massey Ferguson 1105, wonderful machine. We'll talk to you later.